Hello,
Oh, hello.
I'm Sammi,
And I'm Steve.
and you're listening to Rose Plate Special, the most dramatic. Just kidding. We're not going to do that intro this time because fuck this episode. Team Jenn.
Wait, you didn't want to witness a public flogging?
No. I mean, it's funny. Well, because we got to talk about it. I think the only thing I want to talk about is like the end of this episode. But anyway, it's the recap podcast of the Bachelorette ever.
However,
It's the most podcast
it's the most
today.
podcasts.
That's
Also, I
all it
want
is.
everybody to know that normally I just come home from work and we record the podcast and I'm wearing my businessman clothes, but I'm not Mr. Business today. But we're getting down to business because
We're getting
got a
down to
bone to
business.
pick with you, Bachelor.
Yeah, today,
Show.
like the last 2 days have been so fucked up for so many reasons. There's just like terrible things happening in the world, like as always, but I mean, extra terrible today. And then my husband tested positive for COVID. I think he's okay with me sharing that here. So he is off site. I just got a pizza delivered to him and I'm trying to hopefully stay healthy. We'll see. And
You
then
put him in the root cellar, didn't
we'll
you?
switch. No, he's off site. He's off site.
Tuck, could you go get some canning jars for me from the root cellar? Sure, honey, anything for you. I know I'm sick, but I love you more than anything in the world. And then you push him down the stairs, and then you put the shovel through the root cellar, thinking that he can't get out. He's stuck down there now.
Wow, that got really dark really fast.
Listen, I didn't do what you did.
He's in a nice motel, distant, quarantining, staying as healthy as he can. He's obviously not healthy, but he's feeling okay. And I got a pizza delivered to him, and everything's okay. But yeah, I might get a staycation out of the whole thing, so we'll see. I'm like, let's give it like a day or two, and then maybe I'll just like stay closer to campus for a few nights.
Yeah, nice motel. You mean the root cellar?
Yeah, it's got a nice bathroom, so
no,
he
this
can't
is good
complain.
too because in my mind now you're living in a old timey farmhouse in Kansas.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a root cellar. We just have a walkout basement.
I know you don't have a root cellar, and neither do I, because I say root cellar. If you really had one, you'd say root cellar. That's how you do it.
Anyway, it's just like a weird day because it was like last night he was like, I don't know, I'm feeling kind of weird, but I know I just like mowed the lawn and I'm old, so I'm sore. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I said, and he's like, but he was like, you better stay away from me just in case. And I was like, okay. And then this morning was supposed to be my first day of classes, and I'm supposed to like meet my new students and like go to class for the first day. And then he like texted me in the morning and was like, guess what? And I was like, oh no. Then we just had to think really fast, and then I had to cancel all of my meetings and all of my appointments and all of the things I was going to do in the next 3 days. So we'll see what happens. But right now I'm healthy. If next week, I guess you won't see me next week. I'll fill you in on the dramatic finale of, was Sammi sick or was she healthy?
We don't know.
Once we hit the Golden Bachelor in a couple weeks, Golden Bachelorette rather.
Yeah.
But I literally don't want to talk about like any other part of this week's episode except for the end, because first off, I texted you and I was like, I'm the smartest woman in the world. I just do that every once in a while. I'll just text Steve and I'll be like, did you know I'm the smartest woman in the world?
Did you know that I'm effortlessly brilliant?
Did you know I got into Mensa? Anyway, so that's true. That's a true story, but that's a story for another day, unless you have questions about it. Anyway, but I was like, I'm the smartest woman in the world. And because Jenn was like, I'm going to propose to Devin. But I was like, something still feels off. Okay. And here, I'm going to admit this to all of you. This is like me admitting things right now. I actually knew, not right away, but maybe week 2 or 3, I accidentally found out that Jenn and Devin got engaged. So I knew that very early on. Maybe if you look back at the episodes, you'll piece it together.
Oh, wow.
Do a binge watch. No, I'm just kidding. I tried to hold that close to the chest and not reveal too much. I don't know if you knew that I knew, but yeah.
No, I think you did a pretty good job. I knew that you knew something, but I didn't know what you knew.
Yeah, I tried to be careful with what I knew and not lead too much in one direction. Yeah.
This is once again, this happens more often than not. This is why I guard my heart with the Bachelor and the Bachelorette, because Devin comes out and I'm just like, and then he comes back around and he's just like, but I love you. Yeah. Let's go on a spiritual journey together. Let me be supportive. Let me pay attention to you. And then we're like, hey, maybe I was too hard. I say to myself.
Yeah.
And turns out it wasn't hard enough. But this is great because it's 3 hours long And basically, up until the very last, like, 20 minutes, nothing happens that we didn't see happen. The horrific
Yeah.
mistake of getting rid of Jonathan. We've got Marcus, who has been emotionally unavailable more than any man has ever been emotionally unavailable, perpetually, and to his own admission. And she
Yeah.
has continued to string him along like, oh, maybe some availability will open up. No, it will not. And he continues to be emotionally unavailable. And I don't even know how she can get frustrated and mad, because it's like, I'm pretty sure he straight up told you it's not for him. Uh, so, which is weird too, because it's like, I still think she should have banged Marcus for fantasy suites and then just gotten rid of him after that, you know?
Mhm.
But what do I know? And then the
Mhm.
Devin thing seems like an inevitability. What happens?
Right. I mean, yeah, that was the whole thing, because like I knew that that's how it was going to end, unless Reality Steve was wrong for some reason, but I didn't think he was. So I was like, okay,
Yep.
so what happens? Because I know that, but it doesn't make sense based on like, especially, I mean, pretty early on in this episode, we're seeing like usually it's like the family is smiling and like joking, and it wasn't like they didn't like Devin.
Mhm.
So because sometimes if they don't like the person that the bachelor or bachelorette ultimately chooses, then they don't look that happy in the audience. But usually
Yeah.
like, they look happy and they look like they're enjoying being there and they're being supportive and whatever. And so the fact that like her brother was in the audience like looking so upset, I was like, what what happened? Like, I was trying to piece it together and I was like,
Mhm.
obviously something went down. Like, so I'm watching it like, okay, I know that this is how it ends, but it can't be how it ends. And and then they tricked me, because I was like, "Oh, we thought the twist was her proposing." And I was like, "Oh, it obviously is." So maybe I'm reading too into this, or maybe they're upset about maybe they're upset about Marcus, because here's the thing, they never addressed any of the allegations against Marcus, which are far more serious than what
Mhm.
was happening with Devin, despite the fact that Devin is obviously super bad news as well. Um like
Devin's whole thing is he got
yeah.
high on his own supply of love, and then as soon as he got out of the situation, he was just like, "Oh no, I
Yeah.
have a fiance. Ooh,
Yeah, I
not
saw
good, bro."
yeah, I saw a TikTok, we may repost it, about, oh gosh, now I'm trying to remember the name of the podcast. I will try to remember it. But look at our TikTok. Well, it'll probably be there. And they talk about like a game of crowns versus like a game of rings. I'm gonna write this down so I don't forget. And so the idea is like, who's playing the game? Is it, and like, how are they playing the game? Are they trying to play it so that they win being the Bachelor next season, or are they trying to like go the whole way and like win the whole thing? And so this person's theory was basically, and I agree, and we've been saying this since the beginning, that
Mhm.
Devin knows how to play the game. And I think to him it was always just a game. I don't I My wild theory is that he never gave a shit about Jen.
Mm.
And
See,
that
I don't know that. I feel like just he's not that good of an actor. He's not that good.
mm,
D
I don't
d what
know.
are you giving him the Oscar? Come on, Sammy. What do
I'm
you
not giving him the Oscar, but if you look back on some of the clips, especially from this last episode, the past few weeks,
Mhm.
this is something that people have done and it's been successful to land them bachelor bachelorette status, whether
Mhm.
they're authentic about it or not. Most of the time they are authentic about it, and that's why
Yeah.
they win the spot, because they're being real, and then they get there. But he kept saying things like, I just think you're going to pick somebody else. If you pick someone else,
Mhm.
it's going to devastate me. I know there's a lot of other guys here. It would break my heart for you to pick someone else. It's like he was trying to foreshadow his own losing story. And then he
Mhm.
gets the redemption arc by being the bachelor.
Yeah, but
That's the theory.
isn't that the like, the construction of the whole show, though, is it's like extreme anxiety as 30 men vie for the same woman and
Sure.
are constantly questioning their own, like,
But
placement in the show.
does anyone, I mean, can you think of anyone who's had that level of anxiety actually like making it all the way to the
Making it all
end?
the way. No, probably
Very
not.
rarely, very rarely. I
I
would
just
say
I
like,
just don't think he's got like, watching him not being able to handle his shit at all when they finally bring him out, like, I couldn't believe they brought him out at all, but if he was as good of an actor in order to orchestrate this whole thing and win, then I just like I don't know. I don't know. Like I would expect more out of him when he's in the hot seat. And he's had time. He's had time to think about this and how he can, play it so he doesn't look like the worst human being ever, which he did not do well. So yeah, I don't think he's got it in him. My theory is much more. This is Occam's razor, okay? Simplest explanation. When you are on this show, and usually it plays out innocently, we see people who frequently have this strong, like magnetic, lustful attraction for one another because everything is a fairy tale, right? It's beautiful gowns, it's fireworks, it's a country music star we've never heard of singing to us, it's jumping off of buildings and out of airplanes, it's shopping sprees, it's exotic destination, it's a spider on Hakeem's arm, it's all this stuff, right? And then as soon as you land in the real world, two things happen. One, you're back in reality. Two, you are physically separated from this person. So you don't even get to like experience that come down with them. It has got to be just ridiculously jarring that you have this whole period where all you can do is keep your relationship in secrecy while it's budding blossoming romance is being broadcast to the world, and so that's fucked up. And then you've got just reality hitting you. So I think what happened was he was just all juiced up, and then he got done and he was just like, I don't want any of this. Which is bad, and you should have the self-awareness to realize that it's bad. And then not only did that happen, but he made zero effort whatsoever to address it in a good way or try to work through it with her or have any regard for her feelings. It was just no one has ever fumbled harder. And the thing that's fucked up is this whole episode is the public flogging of Jenn, where we've got picture in picture watching her sob while this, proposal is playing out on screen. And she didn't get a single moment of joy here. Like,
right.
And he didn't even try. Like, dude, how hard would it have been to just fucking tough it out, do some counseling, do anything, and then just figure it out? And if it breaks up like 90% of these relationships on this show, nobody gives a shit. And you can go on Paradise and do whatever you want. But he handled it poorly, and not only poorly, but to the point where he just like shredded her feelings, and it sucks. And now she's just on Dancing with the Stars, which is apparently the consolation prize for any like emotionally battered woman that we put on television. It's fucking
Well,
awful.
also the winners sometimes too,
Yeah.
So, because didn't Charity do it?
Yeah. I was thinking
Like
more like
after her
Vanderpump
successful
Rules.
season.
After
Yeah.
successful season, or
I
like
was
a
like,
Hannah
she
Brown.
had a good one.
But even like a Hannah Brown is like,
sure.
I mean, she had a moment. All these bachelors and bachelorettes where they break up almost immediately. Claire Crowley, there's another one. Like,
she's probably the worst Bachelorette. I'm going to be honest. People keep saying Jenn's the worst, and I'm really sick of it. Like, Jenn is nowhere near the worst.
No,
by any means, and she
Jenn
didn't
is
deserve
mid.
this
Jenn is
for a
mid,
second.
and
She's
she was
totally
treated horribly.
She's like average and fine, and people treat her like she's like the worst one ever, and I'm like I've watched since the beginning. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so I think you're being way too nice to Devin, but I also have spent like all day on TikTok because I've been in a weird headspace today. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're fucking right. That's so true. Okay, so here's some things that other people on TikTok have been saying.
Okay.
And I agree with a lot of them. Well, one, they talked about like apparently on like Brad Womack's season, and that's like the one season I didn't watch. I didn't watch Brad's first season. I watched Brad's second season. But there was like a hippo and a lion or whatever. They went to like the safari, and so these podcasters have been talking about like they're like, yeah, we have this theory, this like hippo and lion theory, where like you feel like you should be afraid of the lion, but hippos kill more people. And so, and so they were like, Sam M is like the lion, like, he's dangerous and you stay away from him. And like, he's very outwardly toxic, bad news. But like Devin, it's like, oh, but like, he's kind of cute and stuff. Like, could he really do that much damage? And then it's like, bitch, I kill more people, you know? And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think that's a really interesting theory. And I also like that a lot of people have picked out the moment when Jenn, and I actually had a really hard time watching her proposal. So I was glad that other people broke it down because I couldn't even watch. Like I was feeling sick to my stomach. I was like, this is not, I feel so uncomfortable. Like I don't feel like I should be watching this. And I mean, I feel bad for Jenn because I don't, like she asked, do I have a choice? I don't think she had a choice. I'm
Yeah.
yeah,
That was the
really
worst part.
looking forward to her like
Jenn, are you ready to
airing.
watch this thing play out in the most humiliating moment of your entire life, which will never be matched and potentially never be matched in the history of television ever again? And she's like,
Yeah,
no,
I
what
guess
are you supposed to
so.
say?
Like what
Sure.
the fuck?
What the
Yeah.
fuck am I going to do?
But like people have pointed out in that moment where she says like I'm not going to let you propose to me, that it's like Devin was expecting that and thinking that he lost, and then she said, you know, and but I'm going to propose instead, and it was like he realized that he fucked up. And
Mm.
he has also said that he has regretted it since that moment, since the proposal moment.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
to me, that reads like I was trying to, because he said all the right things. If you listen to all his sound bites, if you listen to
Mhm.
all of his shit, he's saying all the things that make people like the next Bachelor.
Mhm.
And I think he had a playbook in his head. Everybody's been saying he's playing this like a game. All the men on the show, if they liked him, if they didn't like him, they've all been saying the same thing. He's
Yeah.
playing this like a game. He
Which you
wanted to
should,
win
honestly,
the
though.
game.
It's a game.
Sure,
You got to win.
but what game was he playing and
Yeah.
what did he want to
But
win?
okay, so here's the follow-up question. Let's say that he was vying to be the Bachelor.
Mhm.
To what end? Like, does he really want to be the main character that badly? Like
I
he
think he
wants to be the
does.
Bachelor
I think
guy?
he wants to be the main character that badly.
I don't know. I
And I
don't
think
know.
he thought maybe he could be like an Ed or something like that, you know? I think he thought he had that potential, to be like, or Ed, a Bob Guinea. Why did I say Ed? I don't know. Bob Guinea,
Mhm.
like a character like that, and like a, you know, Bachelor like that. And I think that that's the thought he had in his head. I mean, now I don't know. Sounds like he might be doing some podcasts. Sounds like Maria might also be saying some things. And I mean, okay, in my opinion right now,
He broke up with her and
everyone's
followed Maria the next day.
dude, it's so bad. Like, I feel like every man on the show's in trouble until they say
Mhm.
something, okay?
But
Even
Sammy,
you,
again,
Jonathan.
going back to this whole thing, I am not discounting the validity of what you are saying.
However,
However, all I need to know is, can a man be that like forward thinking and calculated and like pure evil because of that calculation, but also be the dumbest man alive?
yeah, I think so. I think
I just
so.
don't see it. I can't exist in a world where that duality exists.
I mean, I don't think it's calculation. Okay, having been married to a cheater, I'll just say
Mhm.
this.
Fair, fair.
Was he smart? No. Not really. But he said all the right things to me
Mhm.
to make me question my own reality, and to make me feel like I was the problem, and to make me feel like,
Mhm.
and not to say that I wasn't ever the problem. Like, you know, we can all be the problem sometimes. But
Not me.
okay, sorry, you're perfect, you're infallible. I forgot. I'm so sorry, I
It's
forgot.
okay.
Yeah. Oh
Go ahead,
gosh. See,
sorry.
I'm such a problem. See, that's that's the issue. No, but like I would be like, oh, if I bring this up, then I'm just like trying to change somebody, and
Mhm.
how dare I? And I'm just being a bitch or whatever. And so I'd be like, well, if I don't say anything, then we're gonna have a good day. And if I say something, then we're gonna have a bad day. If I actually say how I'm feeling, we're gonna have a bad day.
Mhm.
And I like fully was in this like fantasy world where I was like nothing is fucking real and I'm the problem all the time.
Yeah.
And you know, but also like he would say the right things and like, you know, do the gifts and do the social media posts and whatever. And so I was like,
Mhm.
oh, everything must be fine. I must be delusional or
Yeah.
whatever.
Dude,
And
guys who post too hard, those are the ones you gotta watch out
seriously,
for.
watch your back.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like my husband just posts really cute pictures of the super deranged envelope writings that he puts on letters to Home Depot when he pays his bill. That's what he posts on Facebook. And that's love.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I get featured on those little envelopes. Anyway,
Say, there you go.
so no, but he would say all the right stuff, but obviously he was like living this completely other life with like other accounts, like other email accounts
Mhm.
and like other, but he was too dumb to like put an incognito tab away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you went to all this effort to like say all the right things and put this really perfect image together and do things to like gaslight me into thinking that like I'm the issue all the time,
Mhm.
and if I bring up something that I'm like expecting too much or whatever, and then and you're doing all these, yeah, like accounts and whatever, like who knows this whole world that I don't know about.
Yeah.
But then like you're not smart enough to do a check before you leave the house and go,
Mhm.
oh, I should put these tabs away.
Yeah. That's
You
true.
know,
That's it gets sloppy. You get
like
sloppy, I
you know what
guess.
I'm saying? It's like
Yeah, yeah.
because, and especially like if you just are like if you're used to getting away with stuff, and I mean what I'm saying is I think Devin is like really smooth,
Mhm.
and I think um I do think it was an act, and maybe he believed it somewhat, right?
I say,
Because
was it an act from the jump though, or did he just have a moment where he
um
got to a point where he was just like, "Fuck"? Because that's the other thing too,
yeah.
is I I think the part where I can get on board is believing that at some point before the end, before that proposal, he was like, "Fuck," and he was too into it, and he didn't have an exit strategy, so he was just like, "I gotta ride this out." Like,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
I don't
yeah.
know if like from the jump, because that would mean that like literally from moment one he was just like, okay, so I have to do this, this, and this, parlay my way here, and then not win, almost win, but not
Mhm.
win in a very hyper specific way, thread the needle so I'm the bachelor. And that's hard. Like even
I
if you
don't
try to do that, there's too much
yeah.
chaos.
I don't know if he was trying to be the bachelor, but what I'm saying is I don't think he was trying to win the whole thing and be with Jen
Okay.
at the end.
Yeah.
But as he got closer, I think he like milked it more.
Mhm.
But what I will say is if you listen to some of the things like the men said about him in the house, even the ones that we didn't like,
Mhm.
it's like we don't like Sam, we don't like Aaron, right? But Aaron did say, like I think what he said was accurate. And I think
Mhm.
and what Sam M said I think was also accurate. Because we thought it too. A lot of
Yeah.
people thought that it was either going to be Daisy or Maria.
Mhm.
That's what we
Sure.
thought. We thought that made perfect sense. And
Yeah.
so why wouldn't the men also think that that made perfect sense?
Mhm.
So I'm sure that not all of them were there for Jen. And I don't think someone breaking up with the Bachelorette and then following Maria like a second later is really like a good indication of like strong
No.
character. Now,
Oh.
one thing I will say is what I heard is the men aren't allowed to follow the Bachelorette until like after the season wraps.
Oh, okay.
So because people are posting, I don't know if that's true, but I heard it from enough sources where it feels it would make sense.
Mhm.
Because people were kind of like, well, what's up with these men following Maria and Daisy and not Jen? But it was kind of like, well, probably because they met them on the outside and they can't follow Jen right now. So it sounds like Jonathan wasn't following Jen. Jonathan is under a microscope right now. He's getting in like ancillary trouble. Like everyone's like, you're not in the clear right now. You better watch it. Yeah, you said the right things on After the Final Rose, but you better watch your
You too
shit,
could be a
buddy.
demon. We don't know.
Yeah, I think the only person who's walking away unscathed at this point is Spencer. There's nobody else who's like getting an innocent edit, like
why are
except for
people
Spencer.
mad at Jonathan? What did he do?
People are mad at Jonathan because of his association with like Jeremy and also some of the videos he's done with like Devin and Sam and all of like the whole
Oh,
gang and stuff. So it's kind of like it's like, he's in trouble until he says something, I think,
yeah.
in some people's
Is
minds.
And okay, well, yeah, so he could be
Yeah.
like, "I condemn blah, blah, blah," because I don't think
Yeah.
any like, there's no way the other guys knew, right? Like, that's not it doesn't
I
seem
mean,
likely to me.
I don't know. It's weird because they were like, we've heard some rumors, and you know, and Jonathan was quick to say like, I'm here to support Jenn. I'm here for her.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of people are mad at Jeremy because of the whole.
He went clubbing.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I'll say. When I'm uncomfortable, I also look like the way Jeremy looks.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm not saying that he was in the right by any means,
No.
but I think he's like, oh my God, I'm in deep shit on live television and this is like viscerally uncomfortable. The
Yeah.
thing that I
That'd be
will,
horrible. I would've
yeah,
been just absolutely mortified, like
the thing I will say though is like a lot of the men on the show have said like, "Oh, Marcus and Devin are my boys, so we're here, like to
Mhm.
to support them as well." And I'm just kind of like, like, so I'm just I'm cautious about all of the men except for Spencer. Spencer's the only one who gets a pass because it was kind of cute. He had okay, his TikToks are very adorable as well, and he had no idea what happened at the finale, and I believe him. I 100% believe him, and then he hasn't posted a follow-up video. I think a lot of people are kind of holding to wait and see like what to do,
Mhm.
I think. And maybe until Jenn says something, or I don't know. It feels like
Yeah.
there's a group chat going on that we don't know about, and there's going to be like a lot of videos that come out
Oh,
at
I was to say,
once.
there's a lot of everybody's, like, testing the waters on their
There's, like, a
posts
lot
in the
of
group
breath
chat.
holding and stuff. Yeah, so
Yeah.
then but someone said, like, a couple people commented on Spencer's post, like, from last night, and they were like, "Oh my god, what do you think?" He goes, "Oh my god, this is crazy. I can't believe it. I'm shocked." He's like, "I'm devastated. This is so wild." So,
Yeah. Which
anyway,
again, honestly, I think that response from Spencer probably vindicates a lot of the guys, because if he's like, "I didn't fucking know," and he
yeah.
went pretty far, so
Yeah,
it's yeah.
I think probably people didn't know, but the other thing to keep in mind is there are allegations going around about Marcus. Like Sam is a pretty toxic dude,
Yeah.
and Devin is doing some really shitty things. So I think
Some
there'll
real
be
turds on the show.
yeah, there's just gonna be a lot to see, like, who
Yeah.
who stays close, who separates, who tries to get a redemption in paradise.
Mhm.
And then people were saying this was kind of weird. This was a theory I did not rock with at all, but like some people were saying, "Oh, it kind of reminds me of like Hannah Brown season, and is Jonathan gonna, come back for Jen?" And they kept saying, like, I've seen people say things like he came back to after the final rose because he wanted a shot with Jen. He was trying to flirt with her, whatever. I'm like, I don't see that. I don't see that at all.
No.
I think he was being really respectful. And just because he complimented her dresses on the
Yeah,
Men Tell
he
All doesn't mean he like is trying to get back together with her. I think that's like,
no.
and he did address that on like social media too. He's like, did it seem like I was flirting with her? He used that sound that was like, are all marathons the same length, and they're like, that's common sense, I fear, and he was like, did it seem like I was flirting with Jen? And they're like, and then it was like him and Spencer, and Spencer was like, yeah, everybody thought that. And he was like, really? And he was like, that's common sense, I fear, um, and he's like, no, I just really like her dresses. And
They are
I
good
wanted to tell her
dresses.
she was beautiful because she's beautiful. Like, why can't I do that? But people were like expecting this ending where like he goes out with her. First of all, that's the only time that's ever worked was Jason and Molly, and that was kind of a different situation.
Yeah.
And
The
it
Hannah
didn't
Brown
work
thing
with
is
Hannah
totally
Brown.
different too. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it literally we're cruising into the final couple of weeks. There's 3 men left, and we're all going, "Oh, no.
This
We
is
know they're all
terrible.
terrible people."
Yeah.
And and the allegations were so strong. As someone who, like, I don't I'm not on, like, Bachelor Nation TikTok and Instagram, like, looking into their shit. I'm not reading Reddit. I'm not on Reality Steve. I am the pure vessel for trash, untarnished by the
Yes.
world. And even then, I knew about that shit. If I know about something, it's everywhere.
Yeah,
So
it
we were
was really
watching a
bad.
train wreck in slow motion. Whereas this, I don't think a lot of people knew, because everybody at work was coming up to me
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh my God, Steve, let's talk about it." I was like,
Yeah,
"Guys, I
it
gotta
was
get stuff done."
Yeah, it was really wild. I mean, I didn't know that. All I knew was that they got engaged, and I didn't hear any rumors about anything else, but I also wasn't seeking anything out. But my feed on TikTok has been nothing but like finale stuff for the last, week. And it's partially because we're
Mhm.
trying to like pump up our own TikTok. So I'm like sharing videos to like our
Yeah.
podcast TikTok. And so it's like now it's showing up in my feed. It was for a while today. It was like every video. was about Devin and how much of a piece of shit he was. And I was like, oh
Mhm.
my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then there was like a video of Spencer, and it was like, well, what are you doing when you're not with Jenn? And then he
Mhm.
did that. I think you should leave like the zip line into the pool. He just did
Yeah.
he just did clips of that over and over. And I was like, see, that's why we can trust Spencer, because he's just here for the zip line.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here
And
with the
he'll
zip
be
line.
like the third guy in paradise for sure. But yeah, I mean, for sure I can say Hakeem didn't know. And
Yeah.
I can say for sure
There's
Spencer
a man
didn't
with an
know.
expressive face that can
He
hide
can't
nothing.
he can't hide it. If he knew, we would have known he knew. Um, yeah, with Jeremy, I'm just kind of like, listen, he was a fraternity guy.
Mhm.
So they hold each other's toxic little secrets, and fraternity brothers gossip way more than sorority sisters do. That's the God's honest truth. I've never been in messier places than frat houses, and I'm not talking about like the decor. I'm talking about their discourse.
I
Okay.
have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jenn found out that he was clubbing. How did Devin goes clubbing? How was that revealed? Did someone like take pictures of him? Was this
Well,
on the
I
internet?
saw
Like,
it on the internet.
okay, okay.
Yeah. I mean, just recently, but this was a live,
Yeah.
video. So I saw it a couple nights ago.
Okay, but
Um,
this was not because like did this happen like a week ago or like what? When
I
did
just
this
know I
occur?
saw videos. I know there were at least 2 different occasions. Well, because what I actually was focused on was Jeremy and Maria. So I was not focused on
Oh,
the
Maria was
Devin.
clubbing too?
Yes, that's what
Oh my
yes,
god.
that's the
Okay.
thing. That's the
That's
thing
the
of it.
thing?
So,
Okay.
okay, sorry, I didn't realize you didn't have this
I had no
context because I
idea.
saw the video like a few days ago or
No,
something like that. Okay,
I had no idea. All I knew is that she was like, "You were out clubbing with Jeremy," but then the Maria got the Instagram follow. I didn't know that
Maria was
Maria was
there.
also clubbing. I thought those
Yeah.
were 2 separate incidents with no
So,
connection.
yeah, so Maria and Jeremy are thick as thieves in some way. I don't know how close, but Maria said that she's going to be releasing some videos and she's not going to be holding back this time, she said. So, I don't know what the hell that means, but whatever she says is going to be interesting. Um, but it hasn't come out yet as far as I know. I mean, I checked like not long before we started recording. So, I don't think it's come out yet, but basically there are at least 2 videos of Jeremy and Maria clubbing together. And in one, Maria says something like, he's my brother from another mother. And they just like honestly do look like they match. They just look like a matching set, those two.
Mhm.
So I mean, I don't know if that was her friend zoning him or what, but they were pretty close. They're like pretty chummy and like dancing together and stuff like that. And in 2 separate videos. And Devin is there, but I didn't think anything about it because I thought, oh, well, obviously Jenn can't be seen out with anybody right now. So it's not
Mhm.
like she would be there. So I didn't think anything of it because you see videos of people, like Bachelorette contestants, current and former contestants hanging out all the time. And they go clubbing and they're out at a bar or whatever. They're on the beach or, they're at Stagecoach as we've addressed. So that's like very normal behavior. So I didn't really think anything of the Devin of it all, especially because of how chummy Jeremy and Maria looked in those videos. So are
Yeah.
you trying to
And
find
who
them?
I yes, I just did.
I saw you
D
like,
do you know who shot the video?
no.
Charity Lawson. The scandal of it
Oh,
all.
Charity. Oh,
Yeah.
no. Yeah,
Also,
see,
and
that's
then
the
people
thing.
were already mad at Maria because it was her 30th birthday and she went out partying. What the fuck? Who cares? Let
People got
Maria
mad about
party.
Maria partying.
Just partying. Who
That's like
fucking
silly.
cares? Yeah,
No,
shut up, you puritanical turds.
oh my gosh, that's so annoying. Well, Maria's the one who said, like, when you turn 30, it's not the end of the world. Hello. Like, she's got
Yeah,
to stay consistent.
yeah.
But that's why I'm really curious to see what she's going to say about all of this because I would suspect, I feel like Maria is a girl's girl. I would be very surprised if she didn't act like a girl's girl in this situation.
Mhm.
Um, People thought she wasn't a girl's girl, but I really thought she was by the end of the season, and she was tight with Jenn. I just Now this could be the thing. It could be like, wow, that was all a facade, and she's no better than that Victoria lady. You
Yeah.
know, who knows?
I have no idea. I just tend to think that like again with this clubbing thing, it's I bet Jeremy might have known. Like he would have been like,
That's
"What?"
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why, like, I think that's why he looks so constipated in the audience. And I don't
Yeah.
know if Jonathan knew anything, but he and Jeremy are really close.
Yeah.
So,
But
but
also it's
I
like
honestly don't think yeah, a lot of the other guys knew anything.
I have no idea because you know it's another thing too. You have all these people out, and so again, this is a situation where I'm defaulting to the simplest explanation, may be the correct one here, which is so you're telling me Charity, Maria, Jeremy, and whoever the fuck else,
Mhm.
Devin, we're all clubbing together, and not a single person was just like, what and then
Well,
but the thing is like so let's say you're in this situation, and I've been out with friends before too where it's like, oh, I see my friend out, I'm like, hey, where's so and so? It's just like
mhm.
we broke up, and then I'm not gonna, I don't give a fuck, I don't probe, I just go,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Especially in the world of Bachelor Nation, where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, they didn't get married? Gee whiz. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
And I bet that she found out because, I mean, somebody probably fucking told her that was there. Because the other thing is too, is because this is a real scumbag man move,
Mhm.
which is where it was just like, yeah, man, it didn't work out. It was a mutual thing. Like he probably said that. I will bet money on.
Hmm.
But it's not like he was just like, I decided I didn't love her anymore, so I broke up with her in a weird way on the phone. Like,
I'm gonna well, we'll see what happens. All will be revealed. We're either gonna sound like really smart or really silly, like pretty
yeah,
fast. But I actually have a different theory. I think okay, so they do these things in Bachelor Nation. They do these like mixers so people get to
yeah,
know
yeah,
each
yeah.
other. So this is like a thing they do. I'm thinking that that clubbing event was like a hey, if you're in New York, I'm guessing,
Mhm.
let's, we can go clubbing here. Because cuz isn't that what it was? Wasn't it New York cuz he said he was like
Yeah,
there
they're
for
in
a
New York. Yeah,
client or something
he's
like
there for
that.
business or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, whatever. He probably like worked a meeting in and like, you know, and was like, "Oh, then it's a business expense." Um honestly, that's a power move. Good job,
yeah, it's a
Devin,
good
for
one. I like
that.
that. Yeah,
But only that. But
fan
cuz it's
expense
like
it when you can.
right, cuz doesn't don't Charity and Dotton, don't they live in New York right now? Isn't that where they live?
Yeah, so it makes sense that Charity was out, but Dotton
Right.
wasn't out. So again, this could have been a
Well,
thing too, where what if
we didn't see him in the video. He
that's
could have
true.
been out cuz she was behind the camera. He could have
Sure,
been
sure.
behind the camera.
He
Um
wasn't listed in any of the things that I saw.
right.
But it could have been a situation too where if Dotton wasn't out and she was out, and then uh let's say Devin was out and they were like, oh yeah, Devin's out, he's in town for business, and then they're all like, hey Devin, how's Jen? And he's just like, she's great. Like, and they didn't even know. Like
Well,
that's another,
they didn't know who, I mean, at that point, they don't know
yeah. They don't know
who
anything, right?
won or whatever, like, they don't know
Yeah.
any of that stuff,
So
or they
potentially
shouldn't.
Jeremy innocent? I don't know.
I don't know, but what I'm saying is I feel like the way these men moved on this show and how tight a small group of them were, I just feel like they're the ones you should be looking at for who maybe knew more. And if they
Mhm.
don't say otherwise and they don't react like in a surprised way, I would just be cautious. And I just have like a weird feeling that Devin confided in one person and it was Jeremy.
Maybe.
Maybe.
That's
But
possible.
I don't think Charity knew. That just doesn't, to me, that doesn't like read as anything she would have done. First of all, she like spent a lot of time invested in like talking up Jenn and being like, no, she's going to be a great bachelorette and you
Yeah.
guys don't even know. And like I just yeah, it would be the weirdest uh like twist of all time to find out that like Charity didn't support Jenn. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Like
Yeah.
as who she is and who she's portrayed, that would be like very shocking. Um so I think we're going to have to wait cuz I think Maria will probably give the whole true story whatever it is.
Mhm.
And I also don't think she's necessarily afraid of looking bad, even if it's something that makes her look bad. But yeah, the Jeremy of it all was like the big question mark where I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like he knew something and I don't
Mhm.
know if Jonathan knew something by osmosis because of that, because the two of them are really close. So anyway, it's
Yeah.
We don't know. This is
We're
all
speculating on
pointless.
strangers on
This is all
television.
pointless. We're gonna know like probably
Yeah.
soon, and even then,
Listen,
it's gonna
the
be
only
like
thing I know is one thing and one thing only.
what?
Devin is
Shit.
the dumbest motherfucker alive.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even because what I'm saying is, even if he was as strategic as I'm saying, or as simple as you're saying, that's my point. It still comes down to the same point that he's still not smart enough.
No.
You
No.
know, and you know, when people are complaining about like Jenn not getting that good of guys, now I'm
Mhm.
starting to agree. I do think that there's always like a good handful. There's always like 4 or 5 who are like decent, but sometimes if
Mhm.
you pick them out too early, then you screw yourself over, you know?
Yeah.
If you kick
You
off
can totally
store Joe in week 1,
yeah, you can cap someone on the first week. It's possible.
yeah.
What I would like to know is, so this is the other part of it too, is if you are speculating,
Mhm.
by you I mean you, me, the audience, whoever.
Yeah.
If we're all speculating on who knew what and when they knew it and blah blah blah, and we don't know shit about shit. We're just kind of throwing it out there. The real question is, what did production know?
Mm,
If Devin was really like actually not in it, like for a long period of time, you know, like if he was like faking the shit out of this for a while, then was there a point where production was basically complacent and they're like, oh, this guy's full of shit? But they just kept rolling with it, because then that's the thing. It's like,
mm,
do you protect your lead, or do you let the psychotic drama play out? And we're in this weird place where the reality TV rules of old are like, absolutely chaos reigns. Let
mhm.
them destroy each other. It's the Roman Colosseum, but with roses. And the new era, and especially in a wholesome puritanical show like The
Yeah.
Bachelorette, it's just like, no, we want them to find love. We want grandma to have a
Mhm.
single tear roll down her face when she watches this. So it's like you have two kind of like warring factions here. So what did production know? And if Jeremy knew, if Jonathan knew, if anybody else knew what the fuck was going on, and Devin wasn't just like hiding this from everyone, then production had to know, right?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the origin of The Bachelor for a minute. Let's go all the way back to the beginning, because I think we all need to understand who the fuck Mike Fleiss is and
Yeah.
how shitty he is. It's funny because it's like I've been watching the show since the beginning, since before the beginning. You know, I watched like Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire, which was a Mike Fleiss show before The
Mhm.
Bachelor came out. That show was, and we should do like a recap of that, and I do want to do it of season 1 of Unreal, cuz I think Unreal explains a lot of the things that we're talking about in a really like powerful way, really interesting way. And um from what I've like buzzing that I've heard on the internet, it's like, yeah, it's like a dramatized take on how production works on a show like this, but it's not that far off, you know, because they
Mhm.
talk about like kind of like irresponsibility of like a therapist being on staff, but maybe not for good reasons, for
Yeah.
exploitative reasons. I mean, that's something that we've seen on Top Model. Tyra Banks is like incredibly guilty of that. And that's something that a ton of contestants have come out about, where
Yeah.
she would find these insecurities for these models on the show and then like traumatize them during the show for entertainment. So
Mhm.
this is a thing that we know is a real thing on shows. This is not like some hypothetical, well, what if they're doing that? It's like we know that. And Unreal takes that and like really runs with it, but it's
Mhm.
also like, yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. So Mike Fleiss, they have a fictionalized version of Mike Fleiss on Unreal, and they kind of talk about like the origins of the show and whatever. But like if you watch like whatever it's called, like I Want to Marry a Multimillionaire or whatever the title was, that long ass title, you know, it was like, you think this is sped up. This was in the course of 3 hours. And then they like brought it back kind of, right? Didn't they do that a few years ago? They did like the proposal or whatever it was called.
Mhm.
Yeah, this was like the same thing where it was like it's a 3-hour show. You don't see the person. They are shrouded in silhouette the whole time. And these
Mhm.
women are competing for the love of a multimillionaire that they've never met.
Yeah.
It's really fucking weird. And by the end, they get they get engaged and married on the show. Not just engaged, actually. Yeah, they get married on the show, and they're dancing and like. And I think Darva was the one who said, "I love you" to this guy. Poor Darva Conjure. Justice for Darva Conjure now and forever. But it was such a weird show. It was extremely exploitative, and it showed, first of all, that like they don't care about women at all. I mean, it took
Yeah.
them a while. That we have way more seasons of The Bachelor than The Bachelorette, because The Bachelorette wasn't always a thing, and it wasn't a thing that they did consistently.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, if that doesn't tell you like where the show is favored, like I don't know what will. But also we have seen some really heartbreaking moments on the show before. Like this is a really terrible one, and it probably is the worst one, to be like, you've gone through all of this. This man was lying to you for at least a portion of time. First of all, oh, side note, I never knew that they were called happy couples. That the little rendezvous were called happy
Oh,
couples.
yeah. I didn't know that
Or
either. I
maybe
didn't
I
know that
did
was a
and I
thing.
forgot, but she kept being like, "In our last happy couple," and I was like, I love fourth wall breaking like that.
Yeah.
Not to like diminish the seriousness of what happened, but I was like, I love that they're called happy couples. Like that's
Well, and I
interesting.
assume that's when they shoot like, "Hey, what are,
The little
Jen and Devin up to
packages and
now?"
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Or, so and I know that, yeah, they'll like schedule a rendezvous so that they can like spend time together and whatever. But anyway, it's like this reminds me of like the Jake and Vienna stuff. Like that
Mhm.
was really bad. Like she was a villain on the show. They got engaged, and then we basically like watched them discuss their breakup on live TV. And
Yeah.
it was like one of the most awkward, painful things I've ever seen on TV. And I think a lot of people watching the show now who are like outraged on TikTok are too young to have watched that, but that was really bad.
Mhm.
Um, and I feel like there was a lot of treatment of women on the earlier seasons of the show that wasn't great either. So it's never been great, but I think the audience is now catching up. And like this new audience that's coming in is going, wait a minute, isn't this incredibly fucked up? Why are we doing this to
Yeah,
people
it's like
and
this.
women especially? And to
It's
the
like,
first,
wow.
Asian American, like Bachelorette, like, and you're not giving her the best men you could and the best situation you could, and you're not treating her with like the most care you can.
Mhm.
That's really messed up. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think people forget. So, what I'm saying is like they just had her sit down and like watch her proposal to a man who broke her heart almost immediately after.
'Cause it's like the
And
most fucked up piece of television they
so
could
it's like,
possibly
do
air.
you think they're capable of like leading her down this path? Like
Mhm.
yes.
Oh,
I
yeah,
a
totally,
hundred
totally.
percent think so.
I
I
know,
think the producers
I don't
probably let
disagree
it
with you at
happen.
all. I don't
Yeah.
disagree with you at all. I'm just saying, like, that's the thing is, like, you basically have to commit to the idea that if they had to have picked up on this at some point, and they may have not just been complacent, but, like, orchestrated it further just for the most fucked up thing ever, which is also crazy because it's like, not only did you do something profoundly shitty to Jen, but I don't think this is the kind of big reaction they wanted because everybody was
Right.
shocked. But like, if I, or if I was walking down the street and then you popped up from behind the corner and then smacked me in the dick with a baseball bat, I would be shocked and surprised, but I wouldn't like that. Wouldn't
Right.
be good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that are like, pack it up, the show is over. Like,
No,
and I mean, I don't feel that way because obviously, well, I'm just in it. It's too late to back out now, but
yeah,
I can complain about it, and I want to be loud about what I would like to see change.
yeah.
But like what I see coming is, and I actually just pulled up this article. Do you remember the whole Jenna Jordan stuff that happened on Bachelor in Paradise a few years
Hmm.
ago?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was so confusing, right?
Hmm.
Because it was like this story that we told. Like it was like Jordan was like, oh, Jenna was with somebody else, and like it was weird, right? Because they were like, Jordan was like this for those of you who don't know, Jordan was kind of this like space cadet male model, whatever. And he was kind of like a punchline on his season. And then he met Jenna on the beach and she's like, I'm an alien. And he was like, I think I love you. And it was just like, and we were all just kind of like, yeah, I mean, this kind of makes sense. Cause like they're
Sure.
both weirdos and like, that's kind of nice. Like, I was like, I'm on board. I really like it. And then all of a sudden it was like, she has a boyfriend and she played me. And wasn't there like a money thing too or something like that? Like, I don't know. There was some other like weird like fraud stuff. And so Jordan made the rounds on all these podcasts. Like I'm so
Mhm.
heartbroken. And he went on Reality Steve's podcast. I listened to that and he was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I found these text messages from Jenna and her boyfriend and whatever. And then Jenna was like, I'm going to get this forensically analyzed. And I'm going to forensically analyze these text messages and prove I was innocent. And
Mhm.
actually, I do think she got some kind of proof. Um
Oh.
but I don't but to this day, I like still don't know what to believe. Like I don't know whether to believe that she was telling the truth or he was telling the truth. In this case, so what I'm saying is I don't believe a word that comes out of Devin's mouth. Don't worry. I will never believe a word that comes out of Devin's mouth. He's a snake in the grass. But I feel like we're gonna get accounts from other people. And if things don't line up, you're gonna have to like it could be a bad art friend kind of case. Did you read the bad art friend?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. I did.
Where you're just like, are they both assholes or like are they both kind of true? Like
Yeah.
I know I'm supposed to take sides, but I don't know what side to take and I just feel like this might be one of those things where we'll get a little bit of a story from one person, a little bit of a story from another person, but we won't totally know like what the truth is. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, this is honestly, this is as someone who doesn't give a shit about Marcus, and according to Reddit, he's also like a bad guy in
Mhm.
real life. But just thinking about Marcus on the show, who is, I don't, is there anything stronger than a black hole? What's the strongest force possible? Like for
Yeah.
sucking charisma out of the universe? That's
Mhm.
Marcus. Uh, but to his credit, in all of his detached, charisma-free glory, the whole time, as he approached the ending, he was just like, "I'm not here. We're
Mhm.
running out of runway, and I don't think I'm your guy."
Yeah, he's like, "I still feel the same," which is not good, and
Yeah.
so, like, to his credit, yeah, he got out, and that was good, and he was
Mhm.
honest, and good for him, and,
That's
and he
that's
was
what you're
like
supposed to do. And
yeah,
on the
he
other
was like,
side, it's
"I'll
like you have
try."
Devin,
Yeah.
and maybe his feelings were real for a while, and maybe they weren't ever, or maybe they were and then they weren't. We don't know. But no matter what you do, don't do what he did because it is profoundly shitty. And I can't emphasize this enough. Literally the dumbest way to deal with this situation ever. It's like,
Yeah.
how can you ensure that
That no one's gonna like you after this.
everybody hates you, and even the people who liked you on a personal level before, or even still, like, oh, that was really shitty, but he's still my boy, they can never publicly associate with you for like probably several years at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's radioactive, that's the thing. That's why I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, these men are all on thin ice, like, people are not forgetting, and they are really mad, and so it's like, you better just, like you
Hmm.
better watch your shit.
Yeah, although it has been like less than 24 hours, so
Yeah.
ask me
We
in 3 months if anybody gives a shit about Devin, but
they
they
probably
should
I
because he's
mean,
shitty.
but that's what I'm saying, like, here's if you have any questions about, like, "Oh, did producers do this?" or whatever, just watch Bachelor in Paradise and see if they let Devin come on. That'll give you every answer you need. Like, you don't need to think
Oh,
about it
it'd
beyond
be
that.
so juicy. They're gonna drop that little radioactive piece of shit on the beach. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And
And then
yeah.
they'll orchestrate it so he falls in love. Like they're gonna do the thing where they place him in a very specific way, and he's gonna fall in love with, I don't know, who is universally loved but currently single by Bachelor Nation and is a woman. That's who they're
Yeah.
gonna try and pair him up with. It's gonna be just it's
Yeah.
gonna be fucking
And
nuts.
he was like doing this shit. So like, yeah. So he said, I found myself falling short of those expectations in the real world that like Jen had for him, right? I
Which
found
what
my
does that even mean?
well, that's what I'm saying. that's the kind of world I lived in, where I was like, I'm falling, or I'm like, I can't change myself. It's just who I am. And I'm like, I just wanted like a nice gift or like a letter every once in a while. Didn't know that was asking for too much. And he's like, I found myself not being able to live up to the things you need and you deserve. And it's like, for you to be nice to me and say nice things
Yeah.
to me. Like, okay. And he's like, I watched myself contribute to your regression and that hurt me. You don't deserve to compromise your standards to be happy. And that's like, that is such an out. Like, that is such an
Mhm.
out. It's not like a real apology. It's not like
No.
the way Jonathan said it, right? Where he's like, I was hoping that I would be enough for you, or I was hoping I would be like what you wanted and I wasn't, but
Mhm.
like, you know, but you made me a better person, and I hope, like, I brought that to you too, and, like, and I like,
Yeah.
you're amazing and all these
And I
things.
don't even know, like, I don't know what Devin is saying. Like, is he saying it's kinda like a way to say, like, "I'm not good enough for you," which subtext, because I know that what I did was shitty.
I
But
don't yeah,
it's not an admission
I don't
of
think that
being
that's
shitty.
I
It's
think
not an
his
admission.
I think his way of doing it, okay, if I'm going into my mind is Devin is super manipulative. The way that
Mhm.
I look at it is he's saying, I'm not living up to your expectations, so that people fill in the blank and say, oh, Jen's high maintenance.
Oh,
She
okay.
expects too much of men. She's never gonna end up with anybody if she just has such high expectations for men. Because the way he said, like, oh, I can't go clubbing,
Mhm.
like, I mean, I lived that life. I've been with men like that where they'll be like, "Oh, I can't go out to the bar." And it's like, well, if you're going 3 or 4 times a week to the same place and you're going alone, I think that means you have a problem.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
you're going on a Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and you're not going there to meet people. You're just going there to drink by yourself.
Mhm. Yeah. Well,
That it's
and
not the
but the thing
problem
with
isn't you're
Devin
going to the
is
bar. Like,
yeah, yeah. Well, and
yeah.
the same thing. It's just like, yeah, Devin, you can go clubbing 24 hours, 48 hours. I don't know how long it was after your breakup with a person that you like got engaged to on national television.
Mhm.
But also you have to realize that I don't know if this was a real world relationship, which I mean, something like this is you could barely draw the comparison, but let's say it was, then I don't think anybody would give a shit. And if they did, it'd be like, well, yeah, because you're not together anymore. So who fucking cares? But guess what? When you're on TV
Yeah. Well,
and you
you have to
break
be
up with
mindful
someone
of the
via text,
optics. Yeah,
yeah,
like, that's
yeah.
just like, like, the people who get bit in the ass on the show don't think about the optics. And what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, like, I think he was clever to a point. I think he knew what would get him, like, advanced and get him positive points and all of that stuff. But I
Mhm.
think because this is a completely different animal, and, like, because, okay, when you see people who are, like, marketers in real
Mhm.
life not handle the show well, you're like,
Yeah.
hello? Like, well, you of all people should know how to present yourself online. But it
Mhm.
is like an overwhelming situation. Like, we can sit here and, be, like, armchair quarterbacks or whatever and say, well, this is how I would play things and this is how I
Yeah.
would do it. We
But
don't
it's different
fucking
when you have
know.
producers manipulating you and your emotions
Yeah.
are being played with and there's like hot lights over
And
you
there's a lot of
constantly.
alcohol and, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you're eating different, you're pooping different, and there's lots of alcohol in front of you, you're sleep deprived. It's basically you're in a cult.
Mhm.
They're doing mind control on you. I mean, they're using the bite model on people, like, for sure. Like, I'm not saying it's a cult, but I'm saying it's very, it's that, oh my god, what's the podcast? And I listened to it, and now is it just called Cultish? What is that called? Oh my gosh, I
I
gotta
don't know,
I
it's
gotta
it's
look it
like
up.
one of those like army
It's
boot
really
camp
good.
scared straight things, except maybe you fall in love.
Because they have, so okay, now I feel bad. Oh, it sounds like a cult. Sounds like a cult. So there's a good podcast. I haven't listened to it in a while, which is why I forgot the name, but it's called Sounds Like a Cult. And they'll go into, like, is this a cult? And it'll be like, is it live your life, watch your back, or like run, or something like that. There's like 3 different categories. And they'll be like, are, our Montessori schools a cult? Is like getting married, like, is like wedding culture a cult? Is, Girl Scouts a cult, or whatever? And they'll just kind of, and sometimes they'll be like, oh, it's just like, it's just nothing. It's not a big deal. But they go
Mhm.
into like the bite model. Like, okay, are they limiting who you talk to? Are you only getting information from like a single source? Are you being sleep deprived? Are they controlling what you eat? All of those it's like that's what happens on a reality TV show. You lose
Yeah.
contact with the outside world. Your only form of entertainment is like each other, and you can only really confide in the producers, and you're limited in the amount of information that you're being allowed to have. So
Yeah.
of course you're going to
The only people you can
react.
interact with are the people who are also being manipulated or the people who are
Right.
manipulating you. That's
Right.
it.
So it's like a really weird situation. So I get what you're saying when you say like, well, maybe he was in it and then he like kind of like snapped out of it. But
Mhm.
I'm thinking he's more sinister than that. But that's just me. That's just me. Listen, he's a SoundCloud rapper. Can we really trust him? Let's get really down to brass tacks
Yeah.
here.
Well, you shouldn't date him anyways, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I
true.
shouldn't date him anyways. Yeah, I was looking to see yeah, if there was any other things that came out. But well, so one thing that Devin did do, again, this was like he's I think he's trying to I think he thinks that he can put out the right things and turn
Mhm.
people against Jen. But what he doesn't realize is that he's deeply unlikable and Jen is very likable.
Yeah.
And nothing will change that. No one's
Mhm.
gonna even the I mean, the people who say that Jen's the worst bachelorette, I think just have like biases that they need to uncover because there may
Mhm.
be some isms going on in their life. But yeah, I mean, for the people who are like riding with Jen, they're not gonna like all of a sudden flip and be like, "Oh, Devin was right the entire time,"
Also,
like
bro, it's too hot right now. Don't touch it. Don't
yeah,
touch it.
but he
Yeah.
did. He did because he posted, I was trying to find I have him on TikTok saved anyway, but he posted screenshots on Instagram of, like, the texts he had with Jen. He
Mhm.
posted them on his IG story and then, like, deleted them within, like, 10 minutes, but
I don't know.
that's what I'm
I
saying. He doesn't understand how the internet works. You think people are not watching you like a hawk right now and seeing whatever you
Exactly.
post and screenshotting it immediately? I don't really think the texts were that revealing. It was just kind of like he thought he had Jen in a gotcha because he had texted her. And again, I've experienced this too, where he's like, well, you said that you wanted to break up. And it's like, but what made her say that?
Mhm.
What made her say that? What did
Yeah.
you do to bring that out of her? Just asking. And then he conveniently cuts off the bottom where she said, "I did say we wanted to break up, but," and I'm like, all of the context is
Yeah.
right there and you cut it off. And I know you did. It's so
Honestly,
obvious.
he's still, I don't know if he could have completely saved himself. Well, I mean, a little bit of time. Like, if he would have waited
Yeah.
an extra couple of weeks, he would have saved himself. If he would have just completely, like, just thrown himself out there and just been like, "Listen, just fucking take me out, crucify me right now. Just yeah, I'm a terrible person. What I did was wrong. How I handled it was wrong. I should have talked to you." Like, he would have to
Mhm.
come clean about everything, and then he'd still be an asshole, but at least he'd be like, "All right, well, what are you gonna do?" But like, every calculation that he made from the engagement to the finale and after the final rose thing, it was just like you could have not. I couldn't have scripted a worse way for you to handle this, other than, like, I don't know, going with Jen to LA and throwing her into oncoming traffic on the 405. Like, what?
Right? Yeah.
That
I mean,
is just
I saw some people say things like, this is how you play it. If you make it all the way to the end, but you actually didn't want to go all the way to the end, the way
no.
you play it is you date for a little while and you wait like 6 months, 3 to 6 months till the heat's off of you. And then you break up and you're just like, "Oh, we were just too different. It
And
just, like,
nobody
wasn't gonna work."
cares.
No one's
Nobody
ever gonna think of it
cares.
even if the other person is scorned, even if you did something kind of bad, like, people move on because the news cycle is that fast, unless it's, like, especially heinous, but you
Mhm.
never really hear about, like, the breakups that fizzle out like that, you're just kinda like, "Oh, okay, I guess on to the next thing. That's too bad," like, but I'm watching this season now, so and I've the memory of a goldfish. So he could have done that. I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's the not smart thing. And
Mhm.
God, I mean, I'm looking at this E News article, and they're talking about like when Jen was like, yeah, so like So she said, on the show, ending the engagement on a phone call. And then the next day, I wake up to you following girls on Instagram, not just any girl, but Maria. Not only is that so disrespectful to everything that we had shared together, I just don't understand that. And he said, I can't excuse the Instagram follow. I know how much that hurt you. And then this was like the fucked up sentence that he said that made me super mad last night. He goes, I'm not here to tell you you can't feel the way you feel. That's like, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like he didn't like he's just like, well, I knew it hurt you that I followed her, but not that it was wrong to follow her. He's just like, I'm sorry that you didn't like that. And I think, okay, this is like Gone Girl shit. Um Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Gone Girl, don't watch the next few minutes, I guess. But like how in have you watched Gone Girl?
Yeah, I mean, this is a movie that came out, like, over a decade ago at this
Yeah, yeah.
point, right?
And
Like
yeah, I listened to the audiobook in 2014 and then the movie came out. So yeah, you should like what are you doing with your life? You like it's a very big
Yeah,
cultural reference. You should know this.
you're allowed to spoil a movie that's a decade old, like,
So
if
Amy, yeah, so like Amy and Gone Girl, she talks about now she's an unreliable narrator, right? Like obviously she's an unreliable narrator, but she makes a really good point about like men want the cool girl, right? Like there's these men who just like want like they say they want like a low maintenance cool girl who's like all breezy vibes, and then when she becomes an actual person with actual feelings and needs, then like they toss them out, don't want them anymore. And we know like in real book life that he was cheating, and he was cheating with like a younger like cool girl or whatever, right? And
Mhm,
I feel like, so I'm not saying like go Amy, but what I am saying is I think that is what Devin is looking for. I think like cuz Jenn does she does give off that vibe on the show,
mhm,
and she gave it off on Joey season 2 where it was just like she's like super fun and she's down for anything, and she can like, she can like giggle with the guys, and like she's just like so fun and easygoing and no problems and whatever. But it's like, yeah, but like you can be fun, but you also have requirements of a relationship. And I
mhm,
think when she started to go, yeah, like and she even mentions like on the date with her family, she's like, yeah, we can compromise, right? Like we can find common ground, we can compromise, and like that's important to her, because that's what a relationship is about. Like he's understands my point, I understand his point, and we can compromise, and that's important to me. And I
mhm.
think he probably delivered a lot of that lip service to her when they were together, because it's like, well, there's no stakes here, right? Like this isn't real right now. So I can just say whatever, and I can say that I'd be cool with that. But then when
Yeah.
she starts to say things like, "Hey, for the next 2 months or whatever, 3 months while I'm stuck here and I can't be seen out anywhere with anybody, and you have a much greater degree of freedom, I would prefer it if you didn't like go out clubbing, you know?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "What, are you gonna change me? What, I can't live my life? I can't go clubbing?"
Mhm,
And it's like, well, I mean, like you can do whatever you want, I guess. Like she said, you can do whatever you want, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to like hurt my feelings or make me feel like left out or whatever. And I think that's like a totally normal way to feel.
mhm,
And especially, I mean, obviously she had a right to feel like insecure or whatever. But I think and that's not the thing that did it, I'm sure, but I'm guessing that there were things like that happened throughout the relationship where she was like, I would feel more comfortable if you did this, or I don't really like this, and he was probably like, what, are you trying to change me? Oh, I'm sorry I can't live up to your expectations. I'm sorry that I'm terrible. I'm sorry that I suck. I'm sorry that I'm not the best person in the world. I'm sorry that I'm not the engagement you thought you were going to get. Like I have a weird feeling that that's how he fired it back at her, and it's
yeah.
not the like sad puppy dog, oh, I'm so sorry that I didn't live up to your expectations and like I wish I could and whatever. To me it feels like an attack. It's not an apology, it's an attack. Um so anyway, those are some of my thoughts. I think once she became a whole human being to him, with
Mhm,
like complex emotions and anxieties and fears and feelings, and he realized that he would not be able to be a responsible person in a relationship, he decided to try to go chase a fantasy that was more fun.
Mhm.
That's what I think.
Well, I think don't tell me I can't go clubbing. I'm going clubbing whenever I want, Sammy. So
Listen, you can live your life. You can do whatever you want. Like you're fully in charge of your own life. I mean, it's
yeah.
like I like dated this
I'd actually
guy.
be upset if you made me go clubbing. Like
Yeah, I'm gonna make you go clubbing. Yeah, neither one of us should ever go clubbing.
No.
No. But it's like I dated this guy when I was like 19, and it was kind of a weird I mean the whole thing was weird, but the funny thing is we broke up, and then like all his friends decided to hang out with me instead. Because they were like, well, he sucked, and he's a pathological liar, and like you're cool. And so then now I'm friends with I'm actually like pretty tight with his friends, but he's the one who told me. He goes, yeah, he would like complain and be like, yeah, she just like wants to talk about our feelings and stuff and complain about things. And they're like, you mean be in a relationship? And why are you complaining about that? And they're like, why are you mad that Sammy just wants to like be in a relationship with you? Isn't that what you wanted? And he was like, oh, it's just so annoying. And they were like, I literally can't understand you at all. And that's like the vibe that I get from him, but I
Mhm.
don't know.
That's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, I feel like we should end with some of the things that Jenn said, cuz watching her sob at the end was just like, yeah, it was so cruel, and they're just like, "And now we're going to move on to Joan." And I was like,
Yeah, that was
"What?"
weird. I couldn't even watch the Jones stuff. Like I didn't care. Like
No, I felt
what's her
so
name's
sick.
dad came out and I was just like, I don't need to see Ernest fucking Hemingway come out of a limo. Like this doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I was like, "Wait, you're just going to leave us like that?" Yeah, somebody in some TikTok comment was like, "Give Jenn a trip to Greece." What the fuck? I was like, you need to give her more than Dancing with the Stars. But yeah, so she said to Devin, I hope that you learn that the weight of your words matter. And if you're going to promise something, you should be able to fulfill those promises. I simply couldn't have done what you've done in that position. And when I love something, I nurture it and I value it and I don't throw it away the next day.
Mm. Again,
Uh,
Devin, wait 6 months.
yeah,
That's all you had to do.
it's just so sad.
It
Anyway,
is. It's
um,
profoundly sad. And that's the thing too, is like you can't always and you really shouldn't excuse stupid people for their bullshit because stupid people do fucked up things that
mhm.
hurt kind, well-intentioned people. And yeah, it's like, dude, just if you're gonna be awful, at least be a little more considerate.
Yeah, Walter's so upset. He's up here with me today, and he's
Oh,
like
big
whining. He's
Walt.
like, "I'm so sad. I just hate it so much."
It's
Um,
okay, Walter. We're going clubbing.
we're gonna go clubbing, but we're not gonna
Yeah.
go with Victoria and Greg because they split up.
Oh no.
Yeah. And
Wow.
obviously Teresa and Jerry got divorced
Mhm.
already. But Joey and Kelsey still going strong. I mean, I'm such a Joey fan. I hope things work out for him. Kat and John Henry, they split up. Eliza
Mm.
and Aaron, they split up. I think we knew
Wow.
that already.
Cat split up with someone. That's crazy to me.
Even
How could someone like that not be ready for a relationship?
I
So
don't know. She's like so stable.
yeah.
Avon and Kylie also split up. Of course, Charity and Dotton are engaged, and I love them. Zach and Katie are still engaged, which surprises me every day. And Danielle and Michael split, which makes me so sad. I really liked them as a couple, but that shit happens. And Brandon and Serene, that still shocks the shit out of me that they split up.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to
Because
be
they were
together
like,
forever.
yeah.
And
Shows
special
what we
shout
know.
out yeah, special shout out to Rachel. Cause oh my God, she was crying in the audience and she
Mhm.
knows exactly what this feels like. And justice for Rachel, justice for Jen. These men are trash. You two deserve so much better. You're like both beautiful and amazing. And Rachel is one of my favorite bachelorettes of all time. And I mean, it was great to see her in the audience, like so bewildered and so upset. But here's the thing. People talked about like how Becca when she had that terrible heartbreak on the show. That was like
Mhm.
so gut-wrenching to watch, that all the women kind of like swarmed her and hugged her on the show,
Mhm.
on, you know, like the Women Tell All or whatever, or what, or maybe it was after I guess it was after the final rose when they did that full. That
Yeah.
was another really painful thing with the whole like Becca, all the Becca and Ari stuff and whatever. Like that was just like some of the worst shit I've ever seen on television. And they were like, "We're gonna give it to you uncut," and I was like, "This sucks
But what
so
if you
bad,"
cut
right?
it?
Yeah,
Also,
yeah, it
please
was like,
edit.
also, you're showing me so much, like, there's a lot of silence in this, but, like, all the women came out on stage and, like, hugged Becca and surrounded her, and people were saying, like, why weren't we allowed to do the same? Like, you know, like, Jonathan could have gone down there, Rachel could have gone down there. There are a lot of people in the audience who are, like, supportive and could have gone down there and, like, given
Mhm.
her a hug. Like, if all the women came down, like, that would have been really amazing. Or, like, if her family, if she was allowed to sit with her family or come, or her family was allowed to come down. And so
No.
it's just like to have her sit next to him and watch her put her all in this. I mean,
Mhm.
to Jen, it was obviously not a game. This, I mean, you can't. That's the thing. It's like you can't accuse Jen of faking it or being an actor. I've never seen anybody sob that much on The Bachelor or Bachelorette ever, ever,
Yeah.
ever in the whole history of watching the show ever. Like it was like guttural, it was visceral, I really felt like I shouldn't be watching it.
Mhm.
And yeah, to not give her any support at all was really cruel. And those are the moments that make me realize that yeah, they'll do anything to
Yeah.
manipulate the scenes that they want to get.
I would also encourage you, whether you are, you know, a man or a woman or however you decide to identify, don't go on the show. What's
Yeah,
our success rate at this point? It's
bad. The
it's quite
success rate
poor.
is bad. Now, if you
And then
want to
on
come on
top
the
of
show
that,
to get to paradise, I get it because I would
yeah,
do that.
yeah, I would do that for,
I would be
but it's
like,
like,
I'm
how much
quirky
do I
enough
want
to
to
get
like
there.
destroy my mental health and my emotional
Yeah,
well-being for a trip to Mexico? Because I got
not
to tell
much.
you,
Yeah,
Sammy, I can get you a deal like an all-inclusive for just like probably a couple $100 a night. Like,
yeah, and I'd probably poop better too.
you
Yeah.
probably would, and that's
I
important.
realize if people haven't watched other seasons, they're like, "Why is she talking about poop so much?" Just watch
But
the last
can you
season of
imagine
Bachelor
like,
in Paradise. It was so bad. A poop baby. Imagine
yeah,
that,
poop
okay?
baby, poop
That's what
baby.
happened.
I just want to say like, okay, so like the value proposition for this show is amazing. It's
Marketer.
amazing. You ready? It's like, okay, so what if I told you, Sammy,
Mhm.
that we're going to have this show that you're on and
Yeah.
there's going to be 30 male contestants.
Wow.
And by the time you get to the end,
Mhm.
you're going to find a husband. You go, oh,
Wow. That
that
sounds
sounds good.
very interesting. I would like that. Thank
And
you.
then you
And
say,
beautiful,
Steve,
beautiful
tell me more.
gowns. Yeah.
Yeah, and beautiful gowns. We're gonna put you in beautiful gowns. You're gonna go to
Mhm.
exotic locations. You're loving this. You're loving
Yes.
this.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Please. I want to go to Cleveland, Ohio. I really
Yes.
hope that's on the list. Why was that ever on the list? I like
And then I
Cleveland,
go,
but
okay,
what the
wait.
heck?
Here's the catch. Here's the
Okay, I'm
catch.
ready. All
So,
right. What's the catch?
100% chance
Mhm.
you're gonna get down to one guy, and that's totally gonna happen. That's gonna happen. But unfortunately, the chance that it's gonna last is, I think it's about 11% at this point.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you're like, okay, but it's still an 11% chance, and I haven't really had a chance yet. But on top of that, and we're gonna give you a little bump here because you're a woman. So
Mhm. Yeah,
there's
my odds
also,
are much better than if I was the bachelor.
yes,
Much
but
better. Yeah.
because you are a woman, you have a little bit of bump in the odds of staying with someone, but there's also an 80% increase that we will completely humiliate you on national
Oh.
television.
Oh, I don't know if I like that. Can I back out?
No, but
Why? No.
no matter what happens, you'll be moderately famous for 3 to 5 years.
Okay, but what if I am really charming and I start a subscription box line? Then what?
Well, then sky's the limit.
Okay.
But you have to be Canadian, sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, what if I write a book about my breakup and then start a line of fitness equipment? What then?
That's your only path forward. That's the other thing too is, by the way, you're going to be famous enough where you can't actually like sustain yourself for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
but a little too famous and too Googleable to get a real job for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So you're stuck in this hellish purgatory where people will recognize you at Baskin Robbins, but you can't pay your mortgage.
Right. The hellish purgatory. That's where Nick Viall lives.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And you could be a guest on his podcast.
Yeah, that's my only option. I have to be a guest on his podcast. And like the better option is Reality Steve. That's the best option that I have probably. But most of the time I'll be on Nick Viall's podcast because he's just always hungry for the same people to come on all the time.
That's right. All the time.
That guy from Waukesha. Okay. Well, I mean, I've lived in Waukesha, so maybe that's not so bad.
I can assure you it is.
Okay. I was like trying to think of other scenarios. I was like, what if, okay. What if I get on the show, I get in a relationship, I'm in it for a while, but it doesn't ultimately work out. But then I also distance myself from the show enough to write a book that's like probably pretty decent that other people who run podcasts have yet to read and still need to read it. And then I do like a number of like hosting gigs and radio shows and podcasts and things like that. And I'm like successful in my own right. What's the chance of that happening?
There's already one of those. We only get one.
Shoot. Okay, we only get one. Yeah.
Now here's what we still have room for.
Okay.
There is a chance too that if you find someone who will be your forever love, you're gonna have to live in a van. And that's just it.
Yeah, with a guy that denies having a Zelda tattoo. It
has the worst mustache I have ever seen.
Yeah. I don't think I can do van life. I don't think van life is for me. I have way too many books, as you can see. They won't all fit in a
someone who likes to poop in a respectable toilet, no, I'm not living in a van.
Honestly, that's like one of the, when you're an IBS girly, that's one of the biggest reasons to never be on a show. Like if someone was like, do you want to be on a reality show? I'd be like, do I get my own toilet? And they'd go, no. And I'd go, then no.
Yeah.
That would be the end of the discussion. I would be like, absolutely not. There's no way in hell I'm going to do it. No.
Yeah, if I want a reality show,
then you can pretty much do anything to me.
If I want a reality show, or if I got like roped into like a MrBeast competition, I would immediately just get glutened. I know it. I guarantee someone would feed me wheat.
The whole that whole thing is a whole other thing to talk about. Have you heard about everything that's unrolling there?
In his show, he's just like actually torturing people.
Wow,
he's like doing Guantanamo Bay in a football stadium.
He's going to lose a lot of money. I know he's got a lot of money to lose, but he's going to lose an astronomical amount of money. The lawsuit, and like he was like bribing people. So for those who don't know, MrBeast is like a very popular YouTuber for children. Like, let's be honest, only children
and 110%
watch him.
Like a sociopath. Like,
100 million% not a good person. And he was doing this competition show, and I think it was like 5,000 contestants or something like that. It was like the biggest one he's ever done. And then like they win, I don't know, what is it, like $5 million or something like that for the last one standing. One of the problems is that they have people of like every age on the show, except for like all the competitions are for like able-bodied strong people. So like a lot of the older people get picked off immediately. There are people who needed like medication. This is all allegedly. I do not need to be sued by MrBeast but he's going to be a little busy.
He needs the money.
It's fine. But according to people who've been on the show, there were like people who needed medication. They weren't getting access to it. Like really dangerous
You're not
conditions.
allowed to have tampons or insulin. Okay.
It was
That's
like
part of the MrBeast challenge.
Really horrific stuff. And then they realized that they're like screwing up. And so allegedly like people would be leaving the show, and they first like offered him like $1,000 as like a consolation prize for being there. And they turned it down, and then they started like upping the ante and more money. And people just kept saying no, because it's like, I think everybody knew, even though again, this was bite model stuff. They had no contact with the outside world, right? They're in like this weird, like empty room type of a scenario. And, I think people are starting to realize like, oh my God, like this is the worst working conditions we could ever be in. And we're going to like make a lot of money from this. I hope they sue the absolute living shit out of him and he never has a career again. Cause what an incredibly irresponsible, terrible person. Anyway.
Although if a 25-year-old with dead eyes offered to feed me bread on the hour, every hour for 24 hours, for a grocery cart full of like $1,000 bills or something, I'd consider it.
Is that a real thing that he did?
No, but
Oh.
I would actually I could
Okay.
maybe die from that, so
Oh, true, true. Okay, yeah, fair. I don't want you to die.
Will
If
this man with a severe weed allergy have his throat close up, or will he go home a millionaire?
Woo! It's anybody's guess.
See?
I
That's the
would
pitch.
yeah, I mean, for me, there's only 2 shows that I would ever be on, and one is The Mole. I've talked about that. I would 100%
Mhm.
be on The Mole. I am obsessed with that show. Like the Anderson Cooper years, I was, like, so obsessed with The Mole.
You
And
only wanna be on a show that's not on anymore.
yeah, I wanna specifically be on The Mole that was in the year 2000, okay? Like,
Mhm.
that's the mole I wanna be on, or Supermarket Sweep. But again, the
That's more of a
original
game show than
version the
reality.
the
Yeah.
original version with the sweaters, and what's his name? Oh
Mhm.
my god, I'm forgetting his name. I just watched a bunch of Supermarket Sweep too.
Yeah.
Um,
Original version with the sweaters, and if you're in a gay couple, you're not gay, you're just, like,
you're just friends.
roommates.
David Ruprecht. I wanna be on the super Christian weird version of Supermarket Sweep
Yeah. I think
because I
actual
would have
reality
killed.
shows I'd be on, I don't know. I always think it'd be fun to be on Below Deck, but I absolutely
Ugh,
could not do any of the jobs on the show, so I would like, they would just kick me out, like, immediately.
yeah.
I don't have any
Mm.
physical strength. I can't be a deckhand. Um, I I don't think I could be a stewardess because I can't make a bed like that. Are you kidding me?
I would
So I
have to be yeah, I would have to be the one who, like, explains all the food because 'cause I'm really good at memorizing stuff,
yeah.
and I could definitely help with, like, the party themes and the tablescapes and the costumes, but
Mhm.
I would definitely still be the personality hire, so
Yeah.
that's, like, the only
I'd
hope
be
I
cooked.
have.
I'd be
Because 'cause
completely cooked.
I'd be like, "Laundry? Absolutely fucking not."
No,
Like,
I
I'm
can't do
not one of
laundry
those
either. I'm so
weirdos who
bad
just, like,
at it.
loves doing laundry. I'd be like, "Okay, I have to learn how to fold things in a really intricate way." Not do laundry, but, like, like those animals, like, I'd be like, "I
Oh.
gotta" and but the problem is I would just be like Kate, but I'm not as good as Kate. So,
Mhm.
like, I would do, like, a dick towel, but, I'm not Kate, so I couldn't get away with it, but
Yeah,
she
and then
can.
they gotta sort the laundry too, like, they
Yeah.
actually have to, like, put the whites with the whites and the reds with the reds, and I never do
Mhm.
that. I just throw all my shit in and hope for the best. It would
Right.
never work for me.
Well, and you
So I
gotta,
would
like,
love to do
steam the
that.
captain's clothes and all that stuff,
Yeah. I think
yeah, that's a lot
mostly
of
I just wanna
pressure.
go to, like, the Mediterranean and be on a boat. I think that's
Yeah.
the problem. And
You
then
just have to be a guest, and then people are gonna be like, "Wow, look at that rude asshole on the
Yeah.
boat." You have to be, like,
Oh,
super nice and, like, super conscious of everything you're doing the entire time where people are just gonna think you're
dude,
the meanest.
that's why the nicest guests that have ever been on, Below Deck was when it was like it was like one of the guys from Jackass, and then
Oh, I don't know if I saw that one.
oh, who was it? It was, shit,
Huh. While you're looking that up, I would say my favorite guest that I ever saw was Cynthia Bailey. I thought hers was like such an easy, good guest experience. That was like one of the early seasons. Cynthia from Real Housewives of Atlanta. She came on with some
yeah.
friends and they were like super fun and like really nice and they tipped really big. But like she also like knows the drill.
Oh,
Who was
I
it?
know. It was the guy from Jackass and Roy Orbison's, like, grandson.
Which guy from Jackass?
It wasn't even, like, one of the big ones. It was
Oh,
just, like it was like a 3rd tier Jackass guy, and they were
okay.
so nice.
Yeah.
But they would hate me
That
on the
doesn't
show because
surprise me that they were nice, though. That makes
I would
sense.
I would come on and they'd be like, "Oh, a podcaster with a gluten allergy? This guy is gonna be a handful." Like, they would not wanna deal with my shit.
Yeah.
So I would do that, or I would go on Traders just because I love Alan Cummings' accents/outfits,
We
and I
need to
just
do
wanna be a
that
part
too.
of
We need
that.
to do Traders, because I need to watch it. Okay, we
Yeah,
need to
it's
do
really good.
Traders, we need to do Unreal, I have to do I'm Not Here to Make Friends. Listen, well, if I get sick, I'll have a lot of time on
Mhm.
my hands, so I'll watch some of this stuff and report back. But hopefully you'll see us in a couple weeks and I'll be like, "I'm right as rain, everything is fine,
Everything's great, we love Joan.
and school's doing great, and we already cried once for
Yeah.
Joan."
It's gonna be good. We're gonna watch Golden Bachelor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna speculate on how many of the old guys are Republicans.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I bet they all are.
I mean, that's how this whole show is. It's just like,
Yeah.
I think about that all the time. I'm like, I just know for a fact that the vast majority of the people on the show, I would never want to hang out with in real life. And so it's
No,
better that they're just on
never.
my TV and then we're just talking about them like this. But that being said, everybody, listen, we just had Labor Day. If you wear white, you're in trouble. So stop
Big
it.
trouble.
So stop it. If you're going back to school, be safe. Okay. There's a lot of stuff going around, obviously. So be safe and be responsible and take care of yourself because you're not good to anyone, especially your schoolwork, if you're not healthy.
Yeah, don't do needle drugs. That's like the unhealthiest thing you can do.
Unless it's a booster shot.
Yeah, or
do booster
insulin.
shots or insulin.
Don't let MrBeast take that away from you.
Stay healthy, everyone.
If I was like a 2003 like metalcore band, I'd write a song called MrBeast Took My Insulin.
I like it.